Using some wood, drywall, and a lot of time with patience, me and my husband, who know nothing about building anything, created a fireplace for our home that is such a beautiful addition. It looks cozy and timeless, and yes, I filmed the entire process. There is such a anticlimactic and random story about how we even got here. I was doing a living room mock-up on the computer because of the new coffee table that we had gotten. We wanted to redecorate the space, and I had put in the mock-up the black TV unit that we used to have. My husband randomly said to me, what if we put a fireplace? It will make the space so cozy. I was looking through Pinterest and I saw so many inspirational pictures that I loved. And I thought, yes, we definitely need to find one to fit our space because the TV is already perfectly centered, so I didn't really want to move it. We needed specific length and height measurements. When we finally saw one, it was ridiculously priced, and he turned to me and said, what if we just build one ourselves? It will be something that we both love. It will be unique and custom. And I thought, okay. So that's how this idea came into fruition. And I filmed the entire process from start to finish. For the frame, we used 10 pieces of 2x4s. Because we loved the length of our previous TV unit, I used that as a reference. We cut 2 in the same length for the bottom piece. I then measured the height that we wanted. And cut 8 pieces of the same height. Including 6 pieces of the same size, including many pieces of L brackets in the small and larger size. To have the front piece. Using the smaller pieces, we then connected the front and the back. So we had something that looked like this. Then connected it to the bottom piece using more L brackets. We then placed more wood to hold the sides and the bottom and also the top. Now using 7 pieces of 23 by 23 drywall, we went ahead and measured everything right there, and then to cut it so that it perfectly fit the inside of the fireplace. And just nailing everything into place. Also cutting pieces for the sides, so we had something that looked like this. Using this all-purpose joint compound, we're just filling in the holes until it dries. And using paper drywall joint tape for the little connecting pieces. What you have to do is put joint compound down, put the piece of paper tape on top, and then put more joint compound on top. And to make the corners more crisp, we used drywall corner beads and just stuck them on with joint compound on the bottom, and then made sure everything was very flush. All I'm doing is some light sanding. To then go ahead and put joint compound around the entire thing. And here I'm just making sure I go very slowly. I did speed up the clip, but I went really slow to make sure that everything was very smooth and didn't look very unevenly textured. And because there were little holes left over, I went ahead and filled it with even more joint compound. To sand it and have something that looks just like this. Using one piece of plywood to put on top, we had it measured to match the bottom piece. Just making sure that the nail goes in straight and doesn't come out crooked, so that's why he has his hand there. To help us cut the corner pieces perfectly, we use a miter saw and nailed it on the bottom piece and on the top as well. I also got a molding piece that would match perfectly with the ones on the top and on the bottom to outline the opening. Then caulked the whole thing on the bottom so that there are no gaps. And around the edges of the opening as well. I also filled in the holes where the nail gun placed the nails. didn't film the clip where we put plaster on the top because if you've ever worked with plaster, it will dry out super quickly, so we did it very quick. But we put plaster on the top because we didn't want the wood to warp underneath all the paint. I was so indecisive when it came with the color. 3 of the ones that I really liked, and it was black canvas, natural white, and dove. First, using this Zinsser Bullseye 123 primer around the entire thing before I painted it. Decided to go with blank canvas. I also got it in matte. And if you can see, it is more of a eggshell color compared to the white primer. And I honestly recommend not to use a foam roller like we did. It was very streaky, and the perfect one that we did was with a microfiber texture roller. I also used this special tool to make sure that the paint got into the corners. On the inside, we know we wanted to do stone. We really liked this one, but we didn't like the color. So I decided to use a little bit of the blank canvas paint with beachcomber beige and melted chocolate acrylic paint. And I just dotted it and made sure that I mixed everything so it looked very dimensional instead of just very flat. Loved how it came out. It looked so good. And now we're just mixing some grout so that we can stick the stone to the back part. Once that was all dry, I actually placed a little bit of black canvas paint inside the grout and filled in the gaps. Quickly went over the dried grout with the same paint combination. And it was finally time after weeks to take off the tape, and I struggled, so I asked my husband to do the rest. But this is the final result.